Hi, welcome back, guys. Alright, so just to get right into it and get started, that is actually a sketch that I did, just sort of sitting around, and I was like, I love this design, I've got to do this. So I traced it on this is some Copic paper. I wanted it to be on Copic paper specifically because I wanted to use my Copic markers for this particular picture. And the bizarre thing is that I was a bit undecided. I was like, am I going to add anything into the background? Is it going to be watercolor in the background again? Or, is it going to be some kind of different medium? And the thing with Copic papers and watercolors is it doesn't always gel together. So it does slightly leave it creased and a little bumpy. It's not the same as water paint paper basically. So yeah, anyway, I decided to just go for the full Copic paper and thought I'll just leave this a Copic marker sort of coloured illustration instead, rather than using watercolours or anything like that to add to it. Um, so yeah, I traced that initial design, and then once that was done, I just got rid of that sketchbook that I kind of sit with. It's just a sort of tiny sketchbook that I have, and I kind of do my little designs and things and anything that I kind of find interesting and I like in that one initially. And then I loved this design, so that's why I kind of went with it. And then once I did the line art, of course, line art was obviously much easier with this because it's on Copic paper, so it wasn't like my sort of previous video of that manga doll kind of character where I found it really difficult to use the fine liner. It was much easier because it's obviously smooth paper and designed for Copic markers really. So, and that multi-liner is Copic too, so that made it a whole lot easier. And then, kind of as I was designing this character, I wanted to go for a mermaid type of character, but I mean, there's it seems like there's one generic way to do mermaids, and that's not in like an offensive way or anything. I don't mean that to be like, hey, people draw mermaids all the same way, but I mean it more in the way that I felt like I've got to challenge myself a little bit more to come up with something a bit different. And at first, I started off just drawing a mermaid, but this is when I was doing the sketching. I was completely just into it. But as I started going, I started developing it a little bit more into kind of, I know, my own take on, how I would want it to look. And I don't know, if I could imagine this character as like a 3D model or something, how would I, 3D model this in, I don't know, Max or whatever. Not that I use 3ds Max. My skills of that were awful. But let's not get into that. Let's just not do that today. So as you can see, I use Copic markers, and thinking of the colouring for this was also a little bit of a challenge because, I mean, at the end of the day, the sea greens and blues are so obvious in terms of, that's what you would expect to, see on a kind of sea creature, a mermaidy creature, or, something that lives under the sea and looks a little like a bit of a hybrid. But the thing with it is that there are just so many options, and I could have maybe made the eyes yellow, I could have made the hair pink, I could have, there's just so many options out there. And actually at one point I was thinking, I should probably do a couple of versions. That would have been extremely interesting, actually, mind you. But then I kind of felt like there's another way that I can incorporate more color into it. So as you can see, I started, lining the edges with a kind of deep purpley hue. Just enough so that it's there and you can see it and it looks beautiful, but that it then fades back into that, lilac-y pale color, which sits so well with this kind of creature, because if you can kind of imagine her underwater, she would blend in quite well, I think. So, to kind of finish it off, I went in with my gel pen for highlights in the hair, and then to make sure that the Copic marker doesn't get covered with dark, I know, colour over the top of it, I went in with some light Derwent pencils for the scales so that they're just visible. And that about completes it, guys. And there's the final image. Alright, please give it a thumbs up, guys, if you like it. Peace. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.